What's good, everybody? You're listening to the Legends of Athletics podcast. I'm Justin Miller, host and owner of Legends of Athletics. I appreciate each person that's taking time out to listen to this podcast and make us a part of your routine, whether that's your morning commute, afternoon commute, on the way home, or whatever time you choose to listen to this podcast. We appreciate your support, and we just appreciate you for taking the time to listen and spread the good news of Legends of Athletics. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about why I no longer coach X's and O's in the sports of football or basketball. Give you guys some stories of where it all started and why now today I no longer do that. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that I take care of housekeeping. So this show does not have any sponsors. We don't run any sponsorships on this show. And so only thing we ask is that you support by liking, sharing, and rating our podcast. It helps us move up in the rankings on Apple and Spotify, and that helps us more to gain more listeners in the process. And if you have not taken the time, make sure that you go and follow Legends of Athletics on any social media platform, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X. I'm sorry. Make sure you go and follow us on those. And if you don't have any of those and you want to give us some feedback, email legendsofathletics19@gmail.com, and we would be more than appreciative of your support and feedback in that regard. So this is a episode that I have been sitting on for a while because I've had a few people to ask me about it, and I often get the question asked about 2 to 3 times a year about coaching, and so I wanted to put this out there. Not that it'll stop the question, and that doesn't really bother me, but just to clear the air, so to speak. I guess they just clear the air. So 10 years ago, whenever I graduated from Mississippi State University, I decided to go into coaching. At that time, graduating from college, I really had plans more so to maybe delve into physical therapy. Of course, being from the kinesiology program, the natural trajectory was to aim at jumping into physical therapy at that time, whether that be in the capacity of a physical therapist or a physical therapist assistant, PT or PTA. Those are two things I really had my mind set to. I kind of entertained the idea of athletic training at that point, as far as like just staying within sports medicine and things like that. Ultimately, when people ask me what my dream job would have been at that point, it would have been to be an orthopedic surgeon because I just love sports medicine. But I didn't do any of those, and so I got into coaching. Ultimately, my passion was to coach youth athletes, sports, and things like that, and help kids get to the next level to succeed and reach their dreams, and be a positive influence for those athletes that I don't feel like to be the coach that I wanted to have when I was growing up is what I ultimately wanted to be. And so again, getting out of school, I went and did my internship at a clinic, a physical therapy clinic back at home in North Mississippi. And then from there, I I had to look and find a job. Had to get paid. And so I jumped into sports training the first year full time out of school because I couldn't get a job. So I did the entrepreneurial thing and just got into doing sports training. But I also was doing like some personal training at that time as well. Personal training never really fit me because one, I didn't have the I'm not really geared as far as personal training goes. Like I don't have the body type. I don't. If anybody that knows me or you see videos, you know I got a good. So I don't carry the body type. I'm not that into working with the general population. It's just never really been my thing, and that's just something. It's no offense, nothing that's right or wrong or indifferent. It's just that's never really been my thing, and so I did that for the first year. Worked with a few GM Pop clients, and then did like I probably had 2 or 3 sports clients at that time because again I just didn't gear it, and it wasn't something that was big in North Mississippi at that time, and so from there, I landed my first job, and this is a long story, but I landed my first job in the Tupelo Public School District, working at Lawhorn Elementary School as in a capacity there as one of the support staff people, and I started coaching, got into coaching, and the first sport I ever coached was basketball. I was assistant coach to Coach Head at Tupelo High School. We coached freshman basketball. He was a head coach. I was an assistant. So I did things from helping with washing team uniform, which he did a lot of stuff. He did a lot of heavy lifting, but like every blue moon, I'll wash team uniforms. I was in charge of like the weightlifting and stuff. So like when it came to lifting weights, programming and stuff like that, I slowly was assimilated into that role where I did that, and then just learning basketball. If anybody knows me, my older brother, was more the basketball player, and I always gravitated towards football and baseball. And so I was around basketball and learning from Coach Head, Coach Norwood, and even Coach Wilson, Coach Darrell Wilson, in Mississippi State University, a legend. I learned a lot about basketball as far as like more than just shooting and rebounding. I learned about the artistry of basketball. I learned about the X's and O's of basketball. I learned about the execution of high level basketball from those coaches, and then just began to engulf myself in that. And so I did that for about a year. So basketball was the first sport that I coached, and then we went from that, and I got into the ranks of football the next year, helping at Shannon High School. I was not there full time, but every now and then I would help at Shannon High School with Coach Cam, Coach Carter. I don't know how that slipped my mind, but anyway, Coach Carter helped all those guys, and met a lot of great people there as well, and learned more about football, just being more comfortable. Just so I learned how to break down film, learn how to study film, learn how to be a better communicator, and also how to just create better leverage and things like that. Because being a player of football, especially like you coming out of any level, being a player, unless you make it to the professional level, being a player and being a coach are two different things. Because when you're a player, you're mostly carrying out what the coach is teaching you. When you're a coach, you have to think like the player, and then think of like, how do I get this person to do what it is that I want them to do? And so um, that's where it was. And so I did that for like I think that was about a year as well. And then from there, after that, I got into working at the hospital. And so once I started working at the hospital clinic setting, then I was out of coaching, like for real, out of the profession, outside of doing like private training like I was doing, and went into that as far as like what I'm doing today. And so that's a longer story, way longer than I intended. Way longer than I intended it going, but that's a long story. I like my coaching career, coaching resume, so to speak. I learned a lot of great things, especially like I said, basketball probably taught me the most, and football taught me a lot as well. And it's a lot of time in coaching. I'll tell anybody that like it's a lot of time dedicated to it, from investment in the kids to making sure everything's prepared each and every day to cleaning, painting the fields, making sure that like when you got a road schedule, make sure food is set up, parent pickup is set up, talking to parents, things like it's so much that goes into coaching that's more than just the X's and O's, especially like when you're at the high school level and below. It's just a lot that goes into it, and so those things were great. And so that brings me to the central point of the podcast that you guys are here for. Why I no longer get into it? Well, it's a simple answer. You guys have waited 8.5 minutes for the simple answer is you have to make a choice within your profession, right? So I'm in speed and agility, sports performance, strength coaching, things like that. And then you have like X's and O's, so tactical, how we're gonna execute game plans, things like that. And so you have to ask yourself the question, like, do I want to be a jack of all trades, master of none, or do I want to master this thing that master this skill that I'm trying to exploit to the highest capacity to help my life be a little bit better? And so for me, I've always loved the speed and agility, sports performance side of things. Just because for me personally, it just encompasses so much more than purely just teaching the X's and O's. And I'm able to delegate my time a little bit better than when I'm just coaching X's and O's. And so for me, I just wanted to master the speed and agility, the sports performance and things like that side of things. Um, and not coaching freed up much more of that time. And even if it comes to like a team hiring me as a consultant or something like that, I'm able to still have my time, and I'm able to still give time without the strain of all the other stuff that comes around it. So I'm able to travel. I'm able to be there, to be multiple places. I'm not stuck to one thing, and then I'm not obligated to teach a class. So I don't have to teach necessarily in the aspect of a class, but I do get to teach like sports, teach technique, teach mental fortitude and things like that. And so that was ultimately like what it came down to for me, because I just felt like I was split in so many different directions. I didn't really master anything. It was just kind of like, I know this, I know that, I know all these things, but like when it came to like, all right, what have you mastered? I didn't have a mastery in anything. And then on top of that, in the private sector, private training sector, I felt like more of my skills went to that than just coaching. Like coaching was great, but like when it comes to the business side, the sales side, things like that, I just felt like I was way more suited for that than purely coaching. And so that was like my biggest thing, my biggest turning point. And so like even today, I get I've had like student athletes ask me about it. I've had parents ask me about it. I've even had coaches in the schools ask me. I won't say, but I've had quite a few to ask me about it. But it's just like I said, it's just one of those things where, for me, I just want to be the best in my craft, and I want to be able to give people great success and great what's the word I'm looking for? Not great success, but great. I want to do great success, but I also want to get them value for what they're getting from me. And I just feel like just being a master of one thing, it just separates me, and helps me to be so much better than when I'm doing 16 different things. And that's just something that everybody has to. I feel like everybody has to come to a crossroads at some point and come to grips with, like, do I want to be do I want to be um just good at a lot of stuff, or do I want to be great at this thing? And I mean, even like today, I mean, when I go to a team practice or anything like that, I'm one that I'm not really big on spotlight. So I'm more of a background person, and that's probably shocking to a lot of people, especially if you've known me over the years. Like, I just slowly but surely just become more of a, like, I like to be in the background. So like if a coach is coaching something, if it's right, wrong, and different to me, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, because of what I do. So I could be one of those people that's like, oh no, it's wrong. You do this, that, and the third. But what's the point if I'm not there to coach it every day? What's the point if I'm not the person who's gonna be there on Friday nights or Tuesday afternoons or Thursday afternoons? It's kind of pointless. It's kind of, I mean, that's not very smart. And so, to me, that's just the answer of like why I don't coach anymore. Why I'm not in it. I mean, I'm still coaching, but why I don't coach X's and O's anymore. And so I hope that clears up a lot of things. It was just something that I felt like was a fun topic. People ask me that all the time, um, and there's a need for coaches. In all seriousness, there's a need right now, for coaches. I think the profession is great. Um, you're gonna have good apples, bad apples, and everything. They're trainers that fleece. They're just like they're coaches that fleece people. Um, it's just about where your passion is, and what your intent is. Because there are so many young people, men and women, sports athletes alike, that need good mentors, good guidance, and coaching. Coaching takes so much more than just X's and O's. Regardless of if you're the strength and conditioning coach, if you're support staff, if you're assistant coach, or whatever, it takes so much more. And so, there's a need there. A lot of people talk about the money. As you notice, I never talked about the money because you know what you sign up for. It's not a very sexy profession. It's not a profession where you come in making bukus of money. But if you love what you do, then things will take care of themselves. And so, it's very neat. I hope this video helped. I didn't have any more notes, but I was trying to think if there's anything else I could add to this. But I just felt like it was a good episode, especially a good welcome back to podcasts and things like that. And so I appreciate every one of you that have taken the time to listen to this. If you like what you heard here, don't forget to share it with somebody. Tell somebody. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you listen on YouTube. And as always, take the road. Let's travel, get 1% better each and every day, and be legendary.